Welcome to the Web Hosting Cat Podcast, brought to you by webhostingcat.com. Here's your host, Michael James.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. This episode is all about how to succeed and make money online with affiliate marketing. And we have two special guests today. First, we have Janine Crooks, the Partner Acquisition and Development Manager at AWIN, one of the largest affiliate networks. She's going to give us some tips on what you should and shouldn't do when starting out as an affiliate marketer. She'll also tell us about the best way to work as an affiliate publisher with AWIN. Then, we have John Labruto returning to the podcast, who'll give us his do's and don'ts for affiliate marketing success. John's worked for web hosting companies such as 1&1 and Liquid Web. He'll also tell us what he sees from the most successful affiliate marketers. Let's start with my interview with Janine Crooks. Hi, Janine. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start off with, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role at AWIN?
Okay. Well, it's Partner Acquisition and Development, so what I do is help bring some new publishers on board, to bring new merchants on board, help them to become familiar with AWIN, help them to get started. So it's a lot of fun.
Okay, now let me ask you your honest opinion. Can people still make money, a lot of money, with affiliate marketing these days?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I think there's more opportunities than ever because there's more and more companies now that are developing affiliate programs, and that's really very exciting. Honestly, I think the last statistic was something like 80% of companies now have some sort of an affiliate presence available to them, whether it's with them directly by having their own programs, working through a network, working through some sort of a site that has an affiliate program. So there's tremendous opportunity. There really is.
Janine, what are some of the mistakes you see new affiliate marketers making with their sites?
Only working with Amazon, seriously, because Amazon has a one-day cookie and the lowest commission rates out there. So while everybody's always saying, oh, Amazon sells everything and stuff like that, or maybe somebody else will buy, a set of tires on the same day that they clicked on my link. I'm not going to say it never happens, but it doesn't happen all the time. And so because Amazon's just got a one-day cookie, it's very, very difficult. Not everybody is looking at something that's going to be an impulse purchase, where they're going to decide within 24 hours, I want to go ahead and buy that. So if they decide 25 hours later, you don't get commission for the sale.
Right.
That's how that works. So I think that's a really strong and important point to do, is to say at least diversify. I think another problem is a lot of people don't get started right away. They're waiting to put in their affiliate links. And I recommend that you at least put in a link to the merchant right up from the start. So if that's a product you're talking about, go ahead and put in a deep link to that page on the merchant site. I think it's a service to your readers, because if you're telling them that this product is wonderful, make it easy for them to buy it. And then later, once you've become a little bit more established or whatever, you can go back and make that product link monetized. And it's very easy to swap it out. Virtually every network has a system in place to be able to create a deep link. And so you can just take that link, drop it right into their interface, and replace it with your monetized link. So, and it's much easier to go ahead and do that than to have to go back and go, wait a minute, let me try and find the right word and turn that into a link. So that's what those are the two of the biggest ones that I see more often than not.
Great. Then on the other side, what would you say are the top 2 or 3 things that every affiliate marketer really should do to be successful?
I think they need to really understand their audience. Identify what kind of things that their audience likes. So be aware kind of the analytics that are going on with your site, and see who is trying to follow up whatever particular items that are there. If everybody's really interested in this one article on a given product or something like that, make sure you're offering the best on that. Maybe do a follow-up article on that, because a lot of people don't necessarily see what that is. I think that it's really important to keep as a priority that whatever you do, you're trying to help your visitor. If you make that your first priority, rather than trying to chase the company that's got the biggest commissions or whatever like that, I'll see people and they're like, well, I can write about anything as long as, it's a big commission. Oh, gosh. It's like, I know that sounds really good, but if you don't know anything about luxury yachts, you're probably not going to sell one on your site. But if you know all about gardening, or all about beekeepers. I have somebody who's a beekeeper, and she's doing very well because it's her passion and it shows in her site. And as a result, people that are interested in that particular topic, when they come there, they know that the information that she's giving them is good. And if she says this product is great, out comes the credit card.
Right.
And that's what we want. So
yeah, passion is really the key, isn't it?
It really is, and it shows up, and people don't even realize. I've always been a writer since I was a kid, and I've done a lot. I'll just say I've done a lot. But when I was passionate about a topic, I could tell that it showed through in my writing, and I could see that on those particular pages, the time on page was definitely longer. I mean, I've had articles where time on page is like north of 4 minutes. I had a site where just about every article was that way because it was something that I was passionate about. And my conversion rate on that site was 75%. So I think I did it right, so things like that are really important. Passion shows through in your writing, even when you're not aware of it. Your reader is, and that's going to help them. That's going to make them want to buy whatever it is that you say, and that's where you make your money on affiliate marketing. So,
awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
How important is it these days to have your own blog or website? I know social media is really big. In your experience, is it still really important to have your own website?
I think it really is, because I think that they each kind of reach out to a different audience. For example, there are definitely some merchants who insist that you have your own website and not just a social media presence. So if you want to work with folks like that, they're going to expect both. I think that it's okay to have a good social media presence. That's important as well these days. If that's something that you're comfortable with, not everybody is comfortable with trying to be, a Facebook star or a Pinterest, professional or whatever. So I think you need to kind of find that part that works well for you. But I always do suggest that they have a website that they can point back to, because you've also got flexibility with a website that you don't have on social media. If you're doing something on Facebook, you have to follow Facebook's guidelines. Right. If you're doing something on Pinterest, you have to follow Pinterest guidelines. You have a lot more freedom on some other things with your own website, where, maybe you can be longer, or you can have more links in it, or whatever, those kinds of things. So I always do suggest that that's a good place. Plus, having your own website kind of gives you a testing area in some ways, where you can go in there and you can try this out and see how well it works. And if it works really well, then you can expand that to your social media presence. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul. You can take off that page where it's a little harder to remove the pin, or, take off the Instagram post or whatever. You have more freedom. So I definitely, wholeheartedly say, have your own site and do it where you own the site. Don't go just for the free hosting.
Right.
What? I know that everybody's trying to, be economical and stuff like that, and I totally respect that. I'm right there. There are places where it's a good idea to save money, and other places where it's going to cost you ultimately to try and get that for free. So I'm a WordPress.org, not a WordPress.com person, things like that.
Yes.
So.
Yep, I would totally agree with that. Yes, 100%. Now, I don't. ShareSale is now part of AWIN.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Are the platforms the same? Should somebody sign up at both locations, or can they just sign up at one? Okay.
Well, we've just announced that during 2019 we're going to do more to bring those two together under AWIN US. But for right now, it is important to sign up for both individually. We've each got a different listing of merchants that are on there. So there's some that you'll find on AWIN and some that you'll find on ShareSale that you won't find on the other platforms. So make sure, be merchant led by that. Where's the merchant got their program? That's the network to go to.
Okay.
Yep.
And what would your advice be for someone just starting out that wants to work with AWIN or ShareSale?
To make sure that you've got your website in place or your social media. We're going to always take a look at it and see how it is. It doesn't have to be Shakespeare. Because some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure yet, my writing's not wonderful. That's okay. Be true to yourself. But we're going to look and see, do you have the basic things? Do you have an About Us page? Do you have a Terms and Conditions page? Do you have a privacy policy page? Do you have a Contact Us page? Those kinds of things, just to make sure that you're following also all the same best practices that you're going to try and do for Google. So all of those things are an issue as well. And then we're going to want to see a couple of posts that are on there. If you're a blogger, if you're not a blogger, if you're more of a coupon site or something like that, we want to get a sense of what it is that your site looks like, and how you intend to continue on that if you're brand new. So those are the things that I would say more than anything.
Okay, yeah. Janine, can you talk a little bit about the reporting and tracking features in the AWIN website?
Sure. I love our tracking features and our reporting features in the A1 website, both from a merchant standpoint and from a publisher standpoint, because, we've got pre-built a huge number of different reports that you can go on there. So you can see your transactions, you can see your, you can divide that by merchants, you can see so many different things. And we've got those already pre-built with different time things, so you can just click day, week, month, year. And then once you're into any of those reports, you can adjust it as well. So if you want to do it from, Tuesday the 2nd to Thursday the 14th or whatever, probably calculating that wrong. But, if you want to do that, you can set up whatever dates you want. If you want to narrow it down just by a specific merchant or whatever, you can. Some of the merchants offer product level tracking, so you can say specifically this product. For example, one of our largest merchants is Etsy.com. And Etsy offers product level tracking, so you can literally go into each one of your transactions and say, this person bought a dog collar, party supplies, and margarita glasses. And you can see that, and that can give you an opportunity to do it. One of the other things that we've also got is a click ref system, so that you can identify in each one of your links, if you want to put in a different click ref for this particular page or this particular category or this particular paragraph on the page, you can do that. We give you up to 6 click refs that you can add into a link to customize it. And so, in that respect, you can really control your reporting as deeply as you want to. You can know exactly where that came from. And I think that that's really a benefit. I don't know of any other network that gives you that many opportunities to try and do that. So it's good.
Great, good. In general, how specific do you think you should be with your reporting? Should you track every page or should you do it by category?
There's different schools of thought on that. Personally, what I would do, I would try and take a look at the site and see overall how it was doing, and then I would go a little bit deeper into categories and try and identify those. And then if I see, as I'm doing that, I kind of would scan what my analytics were, and it was like, wait a minute, what's going on there? That looks pretty good, and then try and dive deeper into that. Take a look at what keywords are bringing people in, where are they leaving, those kinds of things. So, there's a lot of information you can get from the analytics. If you see that everybody hits a certain place and they're exiting, then you need to repair that. If you see that, this particular page, man, everybody who comes there, it seems like, is buying something, you want to see what you did that's so great on there and do it again and again and again.
Right, cool, okay.
Yep.
Where do you see affiliate marketing in the next 5 years or so?
Growing unbelievably. I think that there's still so much opportunity that's just coming on board. There's new technologies, there's new strategies, there's so many things that are happening. It's really very exciting to see what it is. And so to me, the future just couldn't be brighter. It's
awesome.
Really, I love this industry, and I love watching it grow, and I've seen it grow. I've been in it for 20 years now. So for a very, very long time, and I remember, since we're here at Affiliate Summit right now, I remember when Affiliate Summit was 500 people, now there's 6,000, and they sell out of all their tickets, it could be even bigger if they, but it's big enough, but you want to get your ticket early to come, to make sure and do that. So, it's nothing but a growth opportunity. And, I think for a lot of people, affiliate marketing offers a wonderful side gig opportunity for them. It's something that you can start and get involved in without having to have a ton of knowledge. A passion about a product is simply enough. There's a lot of sources and resources that are out there that are free, or extremely low cost. I don't go after, I call them the big check guys who are, here's my system and you pay me $3,000 and it's guaranteed that you will make $1 million overnight. Run away. But there's a lot of really good programs that are out there that will teach you how to become a successful affiliate marketer. And it's something that you can do kind of on your own schedule. It's nice because you can put in an hour today and 2 hours a week from Thursday and continue to grow and actually build out your business that way without really a penalty that's on it. You can do it as you, at your own pace. Or, if you just want to spend a month and just go, full-hearted to do it, you can do that as well. I love that flexibility in our industry.
Awesome. Well, this has been great. I really appreciate your time and giving us some great tips. And
excellent.
Hope to see you again in the future, and best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and to you as well, and to all of you as well.
Janine Crooks, everyone. Thanks again to Janine for her helpful advice. Now, let's turn to my interview with John Labruto. And today I'm joined by my guest, John Labruto. He's the Director of Global Affiliate Partnerships?
Partnerships with Liquid Web, that's correct.
Liquid Web. John's been in this business for a lot of years, so he's the ideal person to find out how you can best succeed in your affiliate marketing. Hi, John.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you, Mike. Same here.
Let me ask you first off, what are your top 2 or 3 tips for affiliates getting started that they really need to do to be successful?
Absolutely. So we just did a presentation here at AC on 7 do's and don'ts, for affiliate marketing, and it's a very long and broad presentation. But some of the take-homes are, in my mind, really focusing in on what makes money and what kind of traffic you have, and then how to take that traffic, certainly, and then match that with advertisers as a publisher. And there's a lot of different steps that are, of course, involved, and that's some of the things that we went through on our 7 do's and don'ts. Most of the take-home here is, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself to one agreement, to one partnership. There are companies that have marketplaces that are just for that one company, as an example. We work with a lot of different networks. We broaden our publisher base. We're able to go to different kinds of markets as a result of having agreements with all these different particular networks. And we talked in our discussion about publishers joining networks, understanding the markets and their demographic, trying to make agreements with as many publishers and advertisers together as possible where it makes sense. And then understand what the metrics are while you're optimizing. We talked a lot about EPC, earnings per click, and how to figure that out, and not just at the advertiser level if you're a publisher, meaning that, what are they doing with everybody? You need to know exactly what your EPC number is on your site with the advertisers you're working with, so then you can understand exactly the value you're getting from those clicks. And I think that's the biggest misconception, in a sense, where somebody may put links on their site and then kind of see how it goes. And the see how it goes part is fine, but there has to be a lot of metric and data in order to support if it's going well. And we talked a lot about that in different variations. Another thing that we did talk about is trying to work with advertisers as a publisher to develop custom landing pages to give more of a warmer handoff. You're setting the table as a publisher for whatever products you're promoting. Certainly you're developing traffic to come into your website that is compatible with the links that you have going back out. And the most important thing for you to do at that point is give a warm handoff. That could be content driven, that could be promotional driven, or a combination of both. But when they get to the site, it always is helpful for the user to think, this is very ubiquitous, this is seamless. I see the logo of the company that I just was on. Now on this company I'm referred to purchase. And it makes the user feel more comfortable, and conversion rates increase as a result. So we talked a lot about those operational issues, how to get started, how to make some of the choices that you have to make to get started. And I think the other take home that I really enjoyed, this is why one of my counterparts that made this point, is you just gotta move forward. You have your plan, you have your battle plan, as they say, and then the first day you're redoing your battle plan, right? But don't hesitate to start, and if it's not costing you to acquire the traffic up front or a heavy investment, then there's no barrier to get started, because that's how you'll get the optimization data you need in order to become successful as you move on. Won't happen day one, and if it does, fantastic. Let's write a book together, right? But all good stuff. And so we had a very good crowd here. I think it was a perfect conversation for the group here in the Affiliate Summit.
Awesome. Now on the other hand, what are some of the biggest mistakes you see new affiliates making?
Yeah, and that goes to working just with very limited capability. So if you decide you want to work in one particular vertical and then you align with one particular advertiser, you're and it may be a very good agreement and maybe something that is a micro model of what you do, but you're missing the marketplace. You're missing the ability to work with multiple advertisers. You're missing your ability to maximize your profits, because you may want a wider funnel to send off to multiple options for your readers. And this gives you the capability of not only having a revenue stream from one source, but multiple sources in maybe the same vertical, or different verticals. I joked about someone who may want to sell pants, and there may be some sort of warm handoff for socks too. You may want both products, as an example, very broad, but you understand. And this is important for you to develop, because you may have things that are compatible that you never even could have dreamed that your traffic will go ahead and click off to. So I think the biggest don't for us was always, don't limit yourself. Don't limit your options with advertisers or publishers if you're an advertiser. Don't limit yourself to maybe an in-house system that you have no access to a marketplace. And also, the other don't is don't ignore communications, right? You get newsletters from your advertisers, or if publishers communicate, read them, because this is really important. It develops a relationship. And one of the things I said at the end that I really believe is respond, give feedback. There's nothing better than getting the feedback from my publishers when I send out a newsletter. One, I know they read it, but two, they usually bring up very good points. Maybe I missed something that maybe needs further clarification, or opens up another revenue discussion that wasn't even thought of when that was conceived. So communication is key, right? We're in a business here where it's all click-through and some sort of anonymity in a way, and we talk once a year, twice a year at these conventions sometimes. But ultimately, getting that communication stream open on a regular basis can only be a benefit to the publishers or the advertisers.
Mm-hmm. Now, as the director at Liquid Web web hosting.
Yes, that is web hosting.
What do you see as far as the most success? What are the traits that the most successful affiliates have?
And that's a very good question, and we talk about this a lot, at the company. And for us, we have, a product that is not necessarily an entry-level product. It's more in the middle of the scale of, web host providers. So you have the higher end, the lower end, and we're very, very fat in the middle, if you will. And there's an education process to understand the benefits and our value proposition and our unique selling points and all of the things that make Liquid Web a very, very a good product, a great product for someone to, use and purchase. And there's reasons why you would want to be warmed up, if you will, with content from our publishers before clicking off to us. So my point is basically these content-driven publisher models where there's a discussion and there's value for the user, and when they get to our site, they understand why our pricing structure is the way it is, what the great features that are included, and why the support and the customer experience at Liquid Web is so great. If someone comes into our site understanding that, or at least been explained that, it makes it much easier to sell. So that's where we see the higher conversion rates from these content-driven publishers that really have a lot of value that they add to the process through the sales funnel.
Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Good seeing you, Mike. Same here.
John Labruto, everyone. And always great talking to John Labruto. That's going to do it for now. Again, I want to thank my guests Janine Crooks and John Labruto for spending time with us. And of course, I want to thank all of you for listening. This is Michael James, as always, wishing you the very best with your website endeavors. Take care, everybody.
You've been listening to the Web Hosting Cat podcast.
The preceding program is copyrighted 2019 by TuxCat Media.